Do you want to wait until 10?
Yeah, let's wait. I don't know what time.
Recording's going.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Josie Schmidt, and you guys want to introduce yourselves? We have Dr. Mika Carew and Dr. Louise Rose. Why don't you guys say hi?
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, we didn't get Louise the picture. I know sometimes you have to talk. Anyways, you'll see her. So the three of us here with you guys and gals, and I'm just going to start saying everyone for Doc Talk. I'm older and I'm from Pittsburgh, and sometimes I say you guys. I'm sorry if that comes out. So, social conditioning. So this week on Doc Talk, we are so excited to talk with you guys about it doesn't look like winter because I am in Hawaii, but it's winter for most people. And this is a time for really setting new intentions and new health patterns for a lot of people, that global collective intention. And we're going to be having a program in a week called Mastering Your Metabolism on our page and with doTERRA. And it's really about resetting intentions to go along with resetting your metabolism. And Dr. Jenny Tafankian last week really spoke in depth about what do we mean when we even say metabolism, and how intricately linked it is with all of our systems of hormones and our cardiovascular system and our thyroid and how we lose weight, gain weight. Hi, Aisha. And all of how those things work in conjunction together, even how our brain is functioning, how our immune system is functioning, it all interconnects definitely with our metabolism. And so some people, as they get older, their metabolisms have been affected by many different things, and it starts to slow down, or for few people speed up, or just not be where they want it to be at a set point where they are feeling the energy they want, and they're at a good sense with how their brain is working, how their regulation of temperature is working, and also the regulation of, really the big thing is energy and weight, right? And how their body is able, like, used to be like, oh, I could lose weight all the time, like just like that, and now, no, right? Those are some things that are all connected. And so we wanted to set the tone and really get back to basics here with this call, because this next week is going to be really exciting. There's so much we have planned for everyone in terms of how to support yourself and your metabolism. But we're really seeing this as an intention week to have a lot of support and a lot of community to start resetting some patterns, but that what you see this week as is the beginning to a whole new lifestyle and a whole new you. And that these are things that you're going to be bringing in that you're just going to continue with after the week. That this is really going to be your continued daily wellness. And if some of you have been around for a couple years with us on Essential Wellness, I had a whole series that I called Daily Wellness a couple years ago, and I had a webinar on it. And so we wanted to revisit, what does daily wellness look like once you've kind of gotten into that place with your metabolism and your health habits, and to continue on in a way that feels doable and fun and easy and enlivening. So that's really the focus of this call. We're going to start with the three main products or features of the doTERRA is highlighting with this metabolic challenge, but we're going to add in goodies for you, and what it looks like for us as doctors and for our patients, and what it feels like to be in that state of just living this lifestyle. So I'm going to start, and then Dr. Mika and Dr. Louise are going to come in with we want to introduce a little bit of those 3 products. So what I want to first say is it was interesting last month before we even, or 2 months ago, before we even had this challenge thought up. I had a friend who is very athletic and younger, and she just wanted to tone up a little bit and lose a little bit of weight and kind of take that extra step forward. And I was thinking, out of everything in my lifestyle and that I work with, and then what doTERRA had to offer, she wanted to work with it through doTERRA. What would be 3 simple things? Like the baseline, what would I distill it down that could really make an impact for her and that she could integrate? Because 3 things are really a good place to start in terms of like a first month and looking at what you're going to integrate and change into your life. And it was our Lifelong Vitality Pack. So those are our daily supplements. They're 3 separate bottles, and they're a powerful addition, just to those 3, for everyone, and almost any protocol that you ask us doctors about for any type of up-leveling for someone's health. I'm hard-pressed to ever think about when I or we don't recommend the Lifelong Vitality Pack as a baseline. Oil and pomegranate seed oil that's so special that you now have, it's really seen as a supplement to be taken daily. And it is amazing and how it is overall affecting our metabolism, our cholesterol systems, our cardiovascular systems, our all of that basic kind of blood regulation in our body, blood and fat. So that as a second one. And then when you're moving, a lot of, when you're moving a lot of fat and you're changing a lot of your metabolism, and so your body is going through changes, like even with a cleanse, so this is a type of cleanse, you definitely need to support all of your detoxification systems, that everything is moving and clearing and cleaning and getting out, right? You want to release and let go and make those transitions and changes. And together with the Lifelong Vitality Pack, that supports so incredibly all of our systems to be doing that. But then we want to bring in a third thing with the Europalm. It's very powerful, is the metabolic blend. So the metabolic blend, of course, with its name, goes so well with our intention here, supports so much of these functions for clearing and cleaning and releasing. The metabolic blend is a blend from doTERRA that has the 5 essential and basic oils. It has cinnamon, peppermint, ginger, lemon, and grapefruit. And so I'm going to let some of the other docs, because I know they love to talk about it too, get your guys' stances on these 3. And then we're kind of going to just do our doc talk thing and keep layering in and talk about daily wellness, and then how powerful these are, and then what it looks like to start working with them and then keep working with them, and other goodies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Rena just said proper hydration. We're going to talk about that, Rena. Yeah, so those are some of the extra goodies.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I want to talk about the Lifelong Vitality Pack. Just use different words. It's just like, it's a foundation. It's a platform for you to work from when you want to start layering other oils in. So it's a foundation. It's like the nuts and bolts. It's like the skeleton. It's the nourishment that you need, and that can help you move to the next level of being a master of your metabolism. And here's the truth. The thing about any protocol is that you have to be consistent with it. And I'll talk a little bit about my own testimonial of doing the metabolic cleanse already later. But let's talk about the reality of getting the Lifelong Vitality Pack in. for a lot of patients that I see, they say it's really hard to get the other dose in. So what I do, and I know you, Dr. Josie, do this as well, is I just take them all in the morning.
Yeah.
And it seems to work really, really well. Just stay consistent with taking them. So if, for example, you're not getting your second dose in, then you're not being consistent, because you need the full dose if you've worked yourself up to that full dose. So just bite the bullet and take them all at once. And so that's the first thing. Do you want to
Yeah.
Louise, or yeah?
Sounds like Josie has something she wants to say.
Well, just from personal experience, I mean, I'll be transparent here. I really don't like taking pills. I don't like taking supplements. I have a very, like, my stomach is my weak point, my that's my thing. And so I get really motion sick. Anything triggers it. So, like, yeah, I get it, everyone, when you have that, it doesn't feel good. You feel like you're taking the pills in your belly and you can feel them. I have all of that. So can I give a little tips around that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I consistently didn't get that second dose in. So I was like, okay, in an ideal world, to have it divided doses in the morning, evening, AM, PM, or AM lunch. Yes, that's best. But it wasn't happening. I wasn't getting that second dose. So then you have to go to, like, how are you going to get this stuff in? And so I take it all at once, and I take it in that middle place after I need to eat some food first. It doesn't work for me on an empty stomach. Some people can just take a whole handful. My boyfriend, he takes an entire handful of, like, sometimes I'll give him, I'm not kidding, 20 pills. And he goes like this, right down, like, with nothing in his stomach. I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. Great. I can't do that. But I've worked my way up to about 5 or 6 pills that I can take at once. That's kind of my max. And so I take them in gulps. And definitely everyone make sure that when you're putting the water and the pills in your mouth, you're tucking your chin. Do not do the gull waggle thing. This constricts your esophagus. It doesn't make it more open. It makes it more closed. If you put them in your mouth, come here, wait till they're all there, and do a big gulp. Make sure you have something in your belly first, and then ideally eat a little bit after it. So it's like something on top, so they're not sitting there right. So if you can eat them during a meal, where you have a little bit, you're eating them and just incorporating them in with your meal, that I find that the best. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you just do it. What I've always said is, after you play around with it for a while, the feeling of not having them, and that lack of energy and that lack of stimulation in my brain and everything, and all my joints feeling better, all of those things that I get from taking them is so much better than my disfavor with, like, the little pill taking process, that it's just one of those things where you just do it.
I'd like to add just a little bit about why bother taking the full dose, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I feel pretty good on half a dose, and it's a lot easier to get that many pills down. But this particular supplement is formulated to supplement a healthy diet. So by supplement, it means it's adding just enough to bring us up to our optimal daily nutrient base, and not more. A lot of the vitamins that are on the market these days are these giant mega pills that give you way more than you need. A lot of them are synthetic. Maybe you pee out a lot of that. The doTERRA LLV is specifically formulated to start with a healthy diet. It's not going to make up for a junk food diet. Start with a healthy diet. Get lots of green leafy vegetables and healthy proteins and fats. And then the supplements just bring you up to the optimum. It's very, very difficult these days to get optimal nutrition from our food. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that. But so just, if you haven't tried the LLV at the full dose, try it at the full dose. I really think it makes a big difference.
Thank you,
can
Louise.
Work your way up to it. You don't have to start with it. Start with a small dose for a week or two, see how you feel, and then keep adding. But definitely get up to the full dose, and I'm pretty sure you'll notice a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Louise, that's such a huge point. I can't tell you how many different people and patients that I've heard from where they weren't feeling fact their chief complaints until they got to the full dose. And a huge piece of really using it for long-term daily wellness. But we do like to have the caveat of working your way up slowly, first trying, depending on where you are, if you've never taken a lot of supplements or multivitamins or worked with natural medicine before, and this is your first kind of foray into it, then you want to go even slower. Start at the quarter dose, which would be just one pill of each bottle.
Speaking of, is this a good time, Josie, to maybe just talk a little bit about how natural medicine is different from the model that some people are used to with, I have a problem, I get a pill, I feel different the next day after I start to take my pill. Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we are in a transition here with our understanding of health and wellness. And I mean, Josie and Mika and I have been steeped in this philosophy for a long time, but the public is getting more mainstream knowledge about natural medicine. And what I find in my practice with my patients is that sometimes the patients that come to me are wanting natural solutions to their problem, but their mindset is still stuck in the old paradigm, the old medical paradigm, which let me just explain what that is. So in the medical paradigm, you don't really have a problem until it shows up on a lab or an X-ray or an MRI. You could go in to your doctor and say, you know, I'm tired all the time and I just don't have any motivation to, you know, clean the house or do the things that used to bring me joy. And the doctor dutifully will run all the labs and do all the tests. And you might have a follow-up visit where the doctor would say, you're fine. Here's an antidepressant. So that's what we call a functional medical issue. It's not, doesn't have something that you can pinpoint your finger on and say, oh, it's a deficiency in this, or it's you know, whatever, something that shows up on the lab. So that's one model. And then the other model is you don't do anything until you have a problem. For instance, blood sugar dysregulation, having high blood sugar over a long period of time leads to type 2 diabetes, which leads to blindness and nerve damage and a shorter lifespan and all these big problems. And the lab cutoff is, you know, between your blood glucose levels between 100 and 120 are pre-diabetic. After it reaches 120, you're considered diabetic. So you go in and get your blood drawn and say your blood glucose level is 99. Most medical doctors would say nothing to you about that. And I would say, hey, looks like you're heading in the wrong direction with your blood sugar. Let's do some things now to stop that progression towards diabetes. So when we work with natural medicines, they aren't the silver bullet that we have come to think of pharmaceutical medications as being, that you have a problem that's diagnosable with a diagnosis code and a lab test, and then you take a pill to fix the problem, except it doesn't really fix the problem, it just masks the problem. You're not really treating the root cause of what caused the problem to begin with. And natural medicines are always looking for what's the underlying cause. Why is your blood sugar high? Why is your cholesterol high? Why do you have so much inflammation going on in your body? So we're looking for that deeper root cause, and oftentimes it involves making daily lifestyle changes over an extended period of time before you really see a difference in your lab tests. Sometimes you notice how you feel. Sometimes it changes how you feel right away. You can have dramatic improvement in your symptoms right away, but not always. Sometimes it takes a while. I've talked to people who it took 3 or 4 months of using the Lifelong Vitality Pack on a daily basis before they started feeling a decrease in their pain symptoms, or they'd been taking it for 4 months and they said, I'm not sure if I'm noticing a difference. And then they stopped taking it. And then they're like, oh yeah, it was making a big difference. So it's more of a gradual, slow, incremental change that builds up over time. And one of the examples that I like to think about in this model is the small hinge that swings the big door. So it's not like a big gun. We're going to go in with a big medication. It's a small hinge. We're wedging our small daily actions in, but we have huge impact in the rest of our life in terms of prevention of big chronic disease. That's my lecture. What do you want to add?
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm glad it's recorded.
That's great. We need a Facebook Live just on that little one. Yeah.
Well, I think if your expectations are
Exactly.
I've had people I've like recommended Slim and Sassy, and they take it and they're like, yeah, I took it for a week. I'm like, I didn't notice any difference. I'm like, ooh, I didn't educate them about what their proper expectations could be for something like that.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. And we've
Definitely.
also all known people that have had dramatic experiences with the oils in terms of pain or blood sugar or this and that with a single use. So that's also possible for sure.
One of the things that we learned remember this in medical school was that, some of the parameters for lab tests used to be much tighter.
Yeah.
The population. And it's like, as time has gone on, a lot of the lab tests, what is considered normal, they've expanded the range of normal so that, that's a whole different concept, but our population, I think with how much sugar and simple carbohydrates are in the standard American diet, they had to expand where the threshold of even having what blood sugar was considered normal and make it. It used to be a much tighter thing, so that it was almost like, well, we can't have the whole American public considered diabetic, or pre-diabetic.
Except in the case of cholesterol, in which they lowered the considered normal, so that more people would qualify to be put on statins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I know. All right. There's a lot we know about this and blood testing, but we're gonna keep on track. But what I wanted to say is, I just recently had extensive blood testing, and it was really it was so informative because I have not had it for about 4.5 years, and so this is really the dense part of time where I've been using heavily oils, internal dosing and topical in every which way, and to give some feedback, and I would say my diet is even a little less controlled or it's gone on with sugar, but I was a little concerned because I know enough about our diets and sugar that as we get older, your body's ability to potentially regulate insulin, it gets a little more difficult. And so even if you're kind of keeping with the same diet, sometimes it can creep up a little bit, your blood sugars and your body's ability to work with that. And so I was really wanting to see what my blood sugars were at this point, because they were okay the last time, but they weren't fabulous. They were in the high 80s. And this last time, I was doing nothing differently. I even had sugar the night before, some dessert and all that. And it was 78, which is pretty good blood sugar. And so I definitely feel that is attributed to the LLV and daily use of the oils, and that definitely includes Slim and Sassy. So the main ingredient in Slim and Sassy is cinnamon. Cinnamon is just incredible as an herb and an essential oil for helping our body to regulate blood sugar and working with that. And so having that as a daily support, using it as we're going to talk about the different levels of usage on an ongoing basis, just in your daily wellness, 2 to 3 drops, 2 to 3 times a day. That's my little
And
ongoing dosage. Let's talk about, yeah.
Can I give a little pro tip for how to take Slim and Sassy? Because if you've ever
let's move into Slim and Sassy.
Tipped it into your mouth and gotten it running down your chin, it's a little burny. So I buy these little dropper. Can you see that? Dropper tops, and then it makes it really easy. To take your Slim and Sassy without getting it all over your face.
Louise, where do you buy those?
Aroma Tools, I think.
So just the regular tool buying places, and they're short. They're not the standard droppers, a little too long for our 15 ml bottles, but these droppers are a little bit shorter and they curve and they're perfect. So you can really you can buy a set of 10, 20 and they're inexpensive and be putting them on the tops. That's great. If you don't have one of those, I always say the first few times you use it, look in the mirror as you're dosing yourself. So watch yourself in the mirror and then you'll kind of get where the bottle is to your mouth, and you won't get the drip down, and you'll start to be able to feel the drops and get a sense of what like 3 drops feels like, 5 drops feels like. And then you become a pro and you have it in your purse and you can just kind of it out. So let's talk about Slim and Sassy, you guys.
Ooh, I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because
we love it.
Yes. What's so great with this metabolic mastering your metabolism and incorporating the Slim and Sassy in is because you're, with the Yarrow Palm, you're breaking down or transforming the fat cells and the toxic buildup in the fat cells is coming out, and we need a way to filter that out, right? So Slim and Sassy is amazing. And you talked about the cinnamon for the blood sugar, which is great. And also I want to talk about, I just thought about this, the cinnamon from a Chinese medicine perspective. It's really good to support, strengthen, tonify the spleen and stomach. And what the spleen and stomach, when somebody has a deficiency with the spleen and stomach, it means that there's this picture of, in Chinese medicine, they give us a picture of the spleen person, the one that studies a lot, the one that's sitting and studying a lot, someone that craves the sugar. They live in a damp environment, which we do here in Oregon. So there's a lot of spleeny kind of people walking around. And so the cinnamon is it's guizhi in Chinese. The Chinese herb cinnamon is guizhi, and it supports, strengthens, warms the spleen and stomach. So then it can help to transform and transport the nutrients appropriately and bring that into your organ systems. But that was just a side note that I just thought of at the top of my head. But what I love about Slim and Sassy is I love the ginger too helps to warm the spleen and stomach, you guys.
Huge.
So, but the peels, the orange peel, and it has the lemon peel in it too, right? Or is it the grapefruit?
It's lemon and grapefruit.
Oh my gosh. I mean, so what that does is it helps to it affects the second phase of the liver, right? And it helps to open up the downregulation of that phase of the liver, which is in most of the Western population, that's a little sluggish. And what happens when that is upregulated, you can push all those toxins out of your body. And you pee and poop out those toxins. So that's how you get it out. And you can sweat it out too. But there's not very many things that go directly to target that phase 2 of the liver. There's turmeric. Now we have turmeric. Yay!
In the alpha CRS.
Yes, alpha CRS, thank you. And all the peels. So now we have green mandarin. But anyway, we're talking about Slim and Sassy. So know that this is such an incredible, Slim and Sassy is such an incredible way to upregulate and transform your metabolism. And to be honest, I've never taken it every day. And for the last month, I've been taking it every day, and I've been feeling like significant results. So I want to talk about that later, but do you guys have anything to add about Slim and Sassy?
I would just like to say something about when I am working with a new patient and they're coming in with particular issues, there are a few things that I always look at to see if there's a problem, because if those problems are not addressed first, it's going to be really hard to address the other problems. And blood sugar dysregulation is one of those.
Yes.
So if you're not sure what I'm talking about by blood sugar dysregulation, it means, maybe you eat coffee and a bagel for breakfast, which doesn't really give you enough protein, fiber, or fat, which is going to keep your blood sugar stable. It's going to give you a spike in your blood sugar and then a crash in your blood sugar. And you might know what we mean by hypoglycemia, which is when your blood sugar goes too low. That's the after. It goes up, it comes down. You kind of feel hangry, cranky, irritable, maybe shaky. Sometimes it feels exactly like anxiety or a panic attack, because it is, in a way. Your brain is trying to send you the signal like, danger, danger, your blood sugar is too low, you must eat something. So it is kind of an emergency for the body. And what happens is we end up getting into a roller coaster because our blood sugar drops too low. Then we just eat whatever we have next to us, whether it's crackers or Snickers bar or whatever, just to get something going to our brain again. So blood sugar regulation, if it's left dysregulated and on this roller coaster for a long time, really causes a lot of downstream problems with mood, with energy, with weight gain and chronic disease and inflammation. So blood sugar is one of the things that I look at to make sure that's being covered. And that's what this Slim and Sassy does. The Lifelong Vitality Pack lays a really great foundation for all the nutrients that might be missing in our diets, and then layering in the Slim and Sassy is helping to stabilize the blood sugar. Now, I still encourage you to not eat that bagel in the morning, and not follow it up with the Snickers bar, but really look to healthy, lots of fruits and vegetables, emphasis on the vegetables. Healthy proteins and healthy fats and fiber. And those are the things that are going to really keep your blood sugar stable, and you won't have that roller coaster. That's what I wanted to say about Slim and Sassy.
Let me give a background to the,
Oh, I was just going to add that one of the downstream problems with that roller coaster is that it's a real big stress on our adrenal glands.
Yeah.
You might have heard of like cortisol being a big problem with our modern stressful lifestyle. And if we can make our blood sugar stable, we're telling our body that we're safe and it's okay, and you don't have to go through those surges of cortisol. So that's another big thing if you're aware of that problem.
Yeah, those spikes help keep us up in that stressed state. They kind of go they feed off each other, that low blood sugar and the cortisol. And so if we stay down in this more stable blood sugar place, then it's much, much easier for us to stay also out of stress and a stress response, and manage in all these other ways in our lifestyle and body. Mm-hmm. I wanted to bring in, and before we maybe move on to Yaropam, a couple things background about the Slim and Sassy line, because I think some people are going to be working with that, and we're working with the full line of it. And so notice I said metabolic blend, and these guys we're all saying Slim and Sassy. So Slim and Sassy is kind of the big name, the trade name, the brand name, and then the sub name is metabolic blend. And I love using that because it's so much more of an encompassing term about what it's really doing and the depth of what this formula is helping us with. But the whole Slim and Sassy line is marketed more for metabolic shifts and weight loss. And so some people so let's talk about the oil. We've just done that. And you can be dosing it in your mouth, right? Or with the dropper. And you can be dosing it in water. Some people like to put it in their water and their water bottle. Other people, like me, I like to put it straight under my tongue. I enjoy the upliftment and the surge because that peppermint and that ginger coming together, it really clears the palate. And I receive energy on a lot of different levels from it. So I really like taking it that way. I like to have my water very more sparkly and clean. So I will just add an additional citrus oil to help with that liver clearing and cleansing daily through the day. But a lot of people love the Slim and Sassy right in their water. So you get to choose that. And then some people just really don't love the flavor. And so doTERRA made gel caps. So there are 5 drops of Slim and Sassy oil. It is the gel cap that has the largest. There's no other gel cap that doTERRA makes that actually has 5 drops of an essential oil in it. DDR has 4, and the others usually have 2 mixed with extra virgin olive oil. So it's a large dose, and there's 5 drops in 1 gel cap of the Slim and Sassy, and you can choose to take it that way as well. And it's very quick acting. I would say within about even 5 minutes, your body is receiving and being able to work with that oil. And I only know that from diabetics who have worked with the gel cap and monitor their blood sugar very clearly and have given me feedback that they're seeing results within 5 to 10 minutes of taking a gel cap with their blood sugar. So, and then we have the gum. The gum is a really great xylitol gum, so not bad sugars in it. And then this has this, I don't know if anyone knows how much. It's not a full drop, but a dose of the Slim and Sassy. It has the essential oils in there. And so that's a nice thing to be just chomping on and chewing on in exchange for other gums, which might not be as good for you, and to have you have that little bit of dose through the day. And then there's the Slim and Sassy shake. That is a protein shake, and there's 2 different kinds. There's the vegan one, and there is the regular. And they do not have the Slim and Sassy oils in them. They have solathin, which comes from a potato extract, and that helps with appetite, natural appetite control. And then ashwagandha, the herb, which is all around really stabilizing, great for your whole system. We call it an adaptogenic herb, and for your adrenals, for blood sugar, immune support, a lot of different things. And so those are 2 of the things I like to highlight in that shake. And people use that to make shakes with for supporting and in doing any kind of weight loss or transition. And it's a wonderful addition to bring shakes in between meals. And sometimes people will do 2 shakes a day and then have 1 main meal with nice grilled vegetables or a salad, and then some lean healthy meat.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, and then let's talk about you guys want to go into the range of, in this challenge doTERRA is really suggesting that you experience the high dose, and let's talk about that in therapeutics. So the high dose is with Slim and Sassy is 5 drops of oil 5 times a day. That's a lot. That's 25 drops. Mm-hmm. That is what we would consider I call a protocol. You're working in a specific time period to make an effect and a change, and you're trying to really bring up and shift your state. And so that can be safe to do for a while, but you don't want to do it forever, I would say. So at some point, you're then going to work back into what I consider the maintenance dose, which is 2 to 3 drops, 2 to 3 times a day. And so for myself, I love to work with Slim and Sassy before I exercise. It really helps get my body that energy and get into that state, prepare. I like it after a meal, clearing a palate. I like it when at the 3 to 5 range, when I'm low energy, instead of reaching for things like caffeine or sugar. I also, as people know me, I get very hangry and I can get into low blood sugar, and it is amazing to help support stability if you just use it all the time through the day. But if you happen to get yourself into a place where you're feeling really hangry and your blood sugar's really dropped, you take a couple drops of Slim and Sassy, and it will give you an hour or two to get to some healthy food. And it'll completely, boom, and we've taken our blood sugar. It just comes right into the normal range. It's beautiful. So work your way up. It takes a couple times. Sometimes the first dose that people, Louise wants to talk about, the first time they experience Slim and Sassy, it's intense. The peppermint, ginger, the cinnamon. Give it probably about by the third or fifth time you use it, you're much more used to the flavor and the taste and what it's doing. And the first few times, don't do 5 drops. So start with 1 drop. Your first dose, 1 drop in the mouth. And then the second dose, 1 to 2 drops, right? Like really go up, stair step it up. Louise.
I just wanted to point out that I've had a few patients, quite a few of my patients have stomach issues and digestive issues, and heartburn is really common. And being overweight and having blood sugar problems often goes hand in hand with heartburn. And as we're trying to correct some of those imbalances and take away the foods that are causing the GERD and the heartburn problems, Slim and Sassy can be really useful as you're trying to change your diet and eat healthier. However, because peppermint can make heartburn worse, and sometimes the ginger and the cinnamon are spicy and it feels hot, I've had a few patients say that they had trouble with their heartburn with Slim and Sassy. And what has worked for them, and I would suggest if that's true for you, you can try, is taking it with a drop or 2 of Digest-Zen. So if you're doing it, you could do it in your mouth, or you could do it in a little shot glass, mix it all together, or in a water bottle, and it tastes great too. So and that worked great to counteract that problem. Yeah.
Or they'll just take the gel cap, right?
Yeah, and but I would do the Digest-Zen as well because exactly. Oh yeah, put them all in the gel cap. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was just what I wanted to add.
I want to talk a little bit about, because I have been doing the 5 drops 5 times a day, and that's the first time I've done that for an extended period of time. And I think it's really, really worth it for people to stick with that protocol if they work themselves up for more than a week. You know, it's about mastering the metabolism. So say you do that for 3 to 4 weeks, and then tighter back down to the 2 drops 3 times a day, or the whatever you said, 3 drops twice a day.
Both. Yes.
So, but give it some time. Like Dr. Louise and Dr. Josie is saying, this takes some time, but I'm the type of person that my metabolism is slow. I'm a storage person. I can store. I'm half native. I have that storage gene. It served me well when I needed it, or my ancestors, but I don't need that. And I'm noticing that with the Slim and Sassy doing the full dose over time, it's really effective. So I just want to support you guys and staying with this mastering the metabolism more than a week. That's just to jumpstart you. The other thing is that I just wanted to emphasize is, Josie, you take your first dose before you work out. And I think that's a great idea for flushing. So I started taking my first dose before I go do my boot camp, and I have a lot of energy. It's 6 a.m. I'm uplifted. I can feel the flushing. And so give it a try. Or I was doing a sauna the other night. That's a perfect time to take a dose of your Slim and Sassy to help to support your body with the flushing that's happening during this mastering the metabolism time. Just little tips.
Yeah, this week it's a jump start.
Yeah.
Right? It's to help us mobilize and get to that place and get into a real place at a high level that we're soaring on a daily level.
Yeah.
So let's move to Yaropom. Oh, Yaropom. If people haven't watched, we did a doc talk on just Yaropom. So that's a wonderful doc talk to listen to. We went into depth around all the energetics, the physicals, the complexity of this beautiful nutritive duo and how it's working. And let's do a little recap here on, Yaropom it's really that we have two very powerful herbal supports here. We have our pomegranate seed, which is not an essential oil, right? This is a seed oil, but all that you've heard about and how it helps our heart energetically and physically and our whole cardiovascular system. And you know how the heart and cardiovascular system is so linked with also our cholesterol and our fat metabolism and how we deal with regulate that. So those are so critically linked. And you have this support coming in from the pomegranate seed oil, and then you have yarrow. Yarrow is an old herb in so many of the different herbal traditions of. They call it for a wounded warrior and a wounded healer, wounds, because it connects to our blood system in so many ways. So it can help with when your body is a wound and healing, but it also helps they call it a blood purgative, working to clear and clean the blood. And then as we know more with science, how that is a link with our fat metabolism also and our cardiovascular system, and how those work together. And what we see is this has such a powerful, when you bringing these two together, it has such a powerful ability to help us transform. We had Laura Jacobs, who's wonderful healer works with doTERRA come, and I loved her quote. She said, if you're going to distill it down, Yaropom is helping us with misbehaving fat. And I thought that was so great, right? You could just kind of think about that. You misbehaving fat, we got Yaropom on the scene. So think about how much we hear in the media and everything about our cholesterol and how, cardiovascular disease, the number one killer for Americans, and how there's all these plaques and there's this thing and this, so much of what's happening with cardiovascular disease and plaquing and the arteries getting closed up with cholesterol, this is your body's ability to try and heal you. Cholesterol is one of our best anti-inflammatories in our body. It's our body's natural anti-inflammatory. When we have plaques, it's our body's trying to heal and protect. And it's just like autoimmune disease. Sometimes it's getting out of hand and it causes a problem before it's really helping us. But when you think about all of that stuff going on, it's like this is what Yaropom is on the scene for. It's kind of a specific for this whole situation. It's almost a specific for Americans in today's day and age with the standard American diet. And so, and all of us, those of us who eat in what I consider the 1% eaters, all organic, incredible, clean, healthy, happy as, meat, and all of these things, we still need as much help because we're affected in all the ways that we can't control in our modern day as well with this cardiovascular situation. And so what we see is that the Yaropom is fast. And it's fast acting and it's quick and it comes kind of within the first week of using it. Most people are noticing things. They're noticing transformation and shifts, and we'll talk about that in different ways. And so watch our video, because when you are that quickly moving, like breaking down fat cells, and the fat is where so many toxins are stored as well. So those things are breaking down. You need to be clearing and moving that through the body. So things that we consider with daily wellness, so proper hydration, making sure you are definitely drinking a gallon of water per 50 pounds of your weight while you're doing any kind of protocol.
Not a gallon.
Sorry. What? A quart. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So think about the quart jar. A quart of water for every 50 pounds. That's a general idea if you want to just kind of picture it in your mind. For most people, that would be about 3 quart jars a day, between 2 and 3 as a minimum amount, but 3 would be better. And flushing that and having that assistance for that movement, other things like exercise or movement, walking, just exercise and or movement, what that means to you, right? It means different things to different people, but that's an integral part with the hydration. So we want energetic movement, we want physical movement, we want metabolic movement. And then that's how you're going to have some real success with this transformation. One of the things I coined early on with working with doTERRA and essential oils was that the therapeutic model of essential oil use is small, frequent, daily doses. And so that means using them in all ways, aromatic, topical, and internal. And with this challenge, part of that challenge is to challenge people to use the internal at a slightly higher than normal dose. So, right, getting you to affect a shift and a change. So when you're taking, let's talk about the Yaropalm. The Yaropalm you can start by taking it at 1 drop in the morning for your first day. That's it. And then the second day, 1 drop twice a day, 1 drop in the morning and the evening. And then seeing how it's going and doing the 5 drops 5 times a day of the Schmidt Sassy, and working your way by the end of the first week up to the full dose of the LLV. I would say you want to be on the full dose of the LLV and the 5 drops 5 times a day of the Schmidt Sassy before you work yourself up to what we're going to call the therapeutic dose of the Yaropalm, which would be 2 drops twice a day, 2 drops AM and 2 drops PM. And that would be that full kind of therapeutic place to start really shifting yourself in the metabolic challenge. Do you guys want to add into that?
I have some things I'd like to add, because what Josie's talking about is a protocol. Like she said, this is a period of time that we're really going to be asking our body to shift and change a lot. And one of Yarrow's best medicines is that it really helps us with purging and letting go of old stuff. And what we've seen is that for some people that can have a real emotional component as well. And so there are ways, and it's really important to listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to your emotions, and support yourself in many ways to let go of stress and let go of, just think about what you're asking your body to do, and maybe schedule a sauna during the week of the metabolic challenge, or some body work, get a massage. There are lots of oils that we can use to support our mood and stress management. Think of all the oils that help you feel grounded and safe, like Balance and cedarwood or vetiver or In Tune or whatever it is for you. And then also think about the oils that are going to help lift your energy. If you feel like you're purging and going through all this stuff, maybe you need to add some tangerine into your water or your diffuser, or wild orange, or some of those cheer, elevation, some of the oils that are going to really help lift your mood. And oils like lemon and lemongrass are really wonderful to have in the diffuser when you're doing any sort of cleanse or challenge like this, because they're uplifting, but they're also really helping kind of clear the junk on the emotional level. So definitely think about supporting yourself, stress and mood during the time when you're asking your body to do all this work.
Yeah. And thanks, Louise. I also think it's important to think during this week, and then for a longer period of time when you're going to continue the metabolic challenge, to think about maybe going to sleep a little bit earlier, because this is when your body is working hard to detox, and you're resting. And then also you use the Serenity on the bottom of your feet, or the lavender on the bottom of your feet and diffuse the lavender, whatever makes you feel good or relaxed when you're sleeping. Be sure to do those things too, because this is the time for your body to rest and release, because it's not working on anything else. You're not working, you're not out and about. So it has this opportune time to really heal you and filter.
I love
Mika,
that.
do you want to mention your pearl about Litsea lemongrass?
Yeah. So when I started the yarrow palm, I felt like I was detoxing in a way I hadn't before, and that was mentally, emotionally, I felt dull. And that was okay. But then I started, if you listen to the other webinar, I just started feeling kind of flat. And I needed to uplift myself. So the Litsea was amazing for that. So that's what I used. And I kept on diffusing and diffusing Litsea until I kind of got out of that chunky time with my detox. So, and lemongrass.
It's sort of like lemongrass as if you don't have Litsea.
Yeah, right. But then I started alternating, and lemongrass is amazing in the diffuser, isn't it? It's so fresh. And Litsea too. So yeah, choose what you want to help uplift you.
Lemon myrtle too. Yeah, definitely.
Myrtle.
So maybe we should talk about what does it look like after? Like they've kind of gone into a protocol. We're doing 2 drops of yarrow palm twice a day, lemon sassy, 5 drops 5 times a day, the full dose of the LLV. We're hydrating. We're moving daily, having great supported emotional state and sleep. And then what does it kind of go into? Do you guys?
I think it depends on what your current state of health is. So if you are getting, if you've got extra weight to lose, if you have blood sugar problems, if you have, metabolic issues, thyroid disease, different things like that.
Hormone imbalances,
you're going to use this like as a jump start, and then you're going to continue at a pretty high level. I mean, I don't know, Josie, do you think, how long would you keep up that high of a dose? Like definitely keep up with the LLV. You can
LLV.
Yeah. I mean, you could keep up with everything.
You could. I think at some point people get, you need to take a break from the Lemon Sassy. You get kind of, you don't want to have the same thing all the time in a flavor. You either get sort of sick of and you take Lemon Sassy breaks. So I know during my 7 years, there'll be times when I am jump starting and working, and I'm working intensely with Lemon Sassy. And then I kind of pull back, and then I always have it in my purse. I have it for the times like exercising and blood sugar drops and when I want energy. But I'm working with, and we're going to talk about this in our March, right? Doc Talk. We're going to start going into some of the newer oils and kind of blends that are for full maintenance of health. And so sometimes I'm working with other 5 oiled blends that are working in all the ways to support my body in different ways. Sometimes that looks like DDR. So I take a lot of DDR gel caps and Zendocrine gel caps, or the Zendocrine oil. I love Digest Zen. So these are ones that you can start on guard. So I kind of like for internal dosing of supportive oils in that daily way. A lot of times the Lemon Sassy will kind of switch around with either on guard, Digest Zen, Zendocrine, DDR, those kind of bases. And then, but I always have it. It's one of those oils I always have in my purse. And I use it probably twice a day. Like a couple drops. So I go like that in the mouth twice a day. So it's one of those ongoing oils that just is my friend.
Yeah.
That's just how I can think of it.
I want to say that I think that everyone should take the DDR daily. And I don't think that they should go off of that. So,
Period. Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I know so people will start with the Long Life Vitality Pack, but as soon as you can, I would say stay on that at least one DDR a day I just take it with my Long Life Vitality Pack, always, without question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's talk about different constitutions, Josie, because you and I have a different constitution. And
yes.
so my constitution is different. And so I started the Yarrow this metabolic challenge. Well, I didn't do the full dose of the Slim and Sassy, but I'm just for 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I started the Yarrow Palm 2 twice a day, and Slim and Sassy, but not the full dose. And of course, the Long Life Vitality Pack and the DDR. And that's been 4 weeks. And I am just feeling like now we're getting someplace. So that's 4 weeks.
Yes.
So I want to say for people who have a slower constitution, heavier, like whatever, look at my body, that kind of constitution, spleeny constitution.
In Ayurvedic, it would be kapha.
Kapha. Yeah.
Kapha. I'm more pitta.
Yeah. I'm strong and I can plow through, but also it takes my body some time to rev up, and because I'm slow and steady, right?
Yeah.
So if you're the type of person that can run a marathon slowly but just keep going, then you might be that person that after 4 weeks you're going to start seeing some results. So just stay steady with your protocol. Don't give up too soon, and stay diligent with, don't stop taking things too soon. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
And if you're the type of person that's a little more fiery,
yeah,
you can start seeing things right away.
Yeah.
But I think the fiery people are the ones that do more of the spiky up, down, right? My blood sugar crashes. I come up and this. And I can overdo things. So, right, pittas tend to be like, yay, more is better. No, not always. So the slow, like work your way up slowly. Yes. Everyone's at their own place. And so knowing that, let's talk a minute, because I know we're right on the hour, you guys. So when we are, for anyone where you're starting to have stuff come up, it can be physical. So it could be heartburn, right? I'm reacting. It's too much of a thing. It can be emotions. It can be like your dark stuff coming up and you're feeling in a dark place. Those are all signs that you need to step back a little bit. Like you might be, one of my favorite sayings is too much, too soon, too fast. Doesn't mean stop and run and get freaked out. It just means pull back a little bit. So you might have gone over the threshold of what's the right dose for you in that moment. Pull back to that last dose that you were at. That's a safer place. And do the things that are going to support you for flushing and letting go and clearing. So a lot of that is the emotional support and sleeping, getting that stress state, that cortisol down, Serenity Lavender at night, those things. But then the things that are going to flush your liver. So the citrus peels, the citrus oils. If you have Zendocrine complex, that's wonderful. What are our other, and just movement, exercise, gentle is always, that's going to help move things. We're going to go over this in the thing, right? Castor packs, but we're going to go over dry skin brushing, saunaing,
shaking in place, like shaking in place.
With qigong, shaking. So water, flushing.
Like stuck. Just the quickest thing to do is drink water.
And diffusing the litsia and the lemongrass. Don't overlook that. That's very important for success. So, and then always you're going in the keep going, right? I want to go back for a second on that. That was like the emotional place, but also a lot of people have digestive. So what they're going to experience is digestive feedback. And just know what you want to do is always, you might have moved too quickly, too soon, too much, too fast. So go back to that back step, and supports that are always going to help with your digestion are the probiotics. So we have the Terrazyme. We also don't overlook the children's probiotic. That can be sometimes, if you just don't want any pills, use that because that's a powder. Terrazyme, digestive enzymes, our digestive enzymes, and Digest Zen. Those are like the basics. So Digest Zen, you can always just put on your belly, on your feet. You can have a warm water with a drop of that and a drop of lemon or some lemon juice. That's always going to help be supportive as well.
And one more thing about the belly thing. Neroli, I know it works so well for you, Dr. Josie, and for a lot for me and my daughter and for my patients. That's so nice. It comes, in a roller. You can have it in your bag. But Neroli, one of the main the main symptoms to use Neroli is belly pain. Yeah. So you use Neroli too. You can, choose Neroli.
Okay. I think we're at the hour. Is there anything, Louise? There's a couple questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
One question about how about us Vata constitutions, which I don't know that much about. I don't know if you guys want to.
Yeah, that's beyond the story. We just added that in beyond the scope of the call.
A question about Mika recommends DDR gel cap once a day. Is this also for people who are doing 2 drops of turmeric, yarrow palm, frankincense, and copaiba? Which is a great question.
It is great. We're going to cover that in March. We have a huge call that might be 2 calls and in our month of March, and we are going to be going over exactly that. Thank you for that question. This idea of, wait a minute, there's Slim and Sassy, there's yarrow palm, there's DDR, and now we have like the trifecta. There's frankincense, copaiba, Siberian fir, and turmeric and pink pepper. Like, what am I supposed to take daily, just in daily wellness? Like, that's a lot of oils. I can't take it all. And so we want to help you guys, we want to help everyone to come into a slightly more refined roadmap for what would be daily protocols and daily wellness for, a couple different states that people can work with yourself, and then also as a wellness advocate in helping others when you are helping them to come to that, and what is that, to refine that down a little. So that is going to be our big presentation in March for you all. All right. But for now, we are suggesting to really be focusing on the full dose of the LLV, getting up to that full dose of Slim and Sassy and the yarrow palm, and then using the rest of all of your resources in your toolbox to support you in that letting go, that flow, that releasing, and getting to that state so that you can really affect some shifts and some change and transformation and be then functioning at your next highest level. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. It's been wonderful being with you all. Oh, yes. All right. And this ends another of our Doc Talks. We will be back with you next month in February. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Louise and Dr. Josie.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you, Dr. Louise and Dr. Mika. So wonderful, and everyone else on the call. Bye-bye.